So, unveiling the corrupt schooling system. Man, it's crazy the things that you learn when you go deep down the rabbit hole. Truly, truly is. And at a deeper level, man, growing up and being in school and just not wanting to be there, man. I knew there was something about the schooling system that was off. And took you all these years, man, to really figure it out. See, the thing is, much like your parents were indoctrinated into the system, right? This is what schooling does, right? You go to school and, you know, you got a globe of the earth on the teacher's desk, right? And right away they make you believe that the earth is round, right? So now there's a debate if it's a flat earth or if it's a freaking globe, right? So this is one of those things. But all this stuff has been programmed into you since you're just a wee child. So then we continue on and they start teaching us stuff that really we don't need to know. It's just stuff to fill our minds so we can't actually think for ourselves. They'll teach you stuff like history and religion and, geography and whatever it is, right? I mean, some of this stuff, yeah, it's good to know, right? But the thing is, what happens basically is that they teach you a bunch of stuff that you may or may not want to learn, and then they test you on it to see how much you can remember, right? So, I mean, if you're doing something, learning something that you really don't want to learn, that you have no interest in, you're not going to do well, right? So this is it. They turn you into this individual who is being programmed for later in life. You got your 2 recess breaks, 15 minutes, and then you got your 30-minute lunch. Does that remind you of the workforce, right? Same thing. It's all part of the game. It's all part of the system, you see? And the thing is, the people who didn't do well in school, it's not because they were stupid. It's because they saw through the lies and the bullshit even back then, and I being one of them. I have no problem educating myself, but I want to educate myself on stuff that I want to learn, right? And then as life went on in my life, I went and I started educating myself on things that really meant something. A lot of the stuff that we learn in school, we don't even use anyway. And the stuff that they should have taught us, they don't teach us, right? This is the thing. Everything is backwards, man. They just want to fill your head with needless garbage that you really don't need to know. And then they want to test you on it to see how much of it you can remember. The people who graduated with honors and got out of school and then went on to go to university or college, and then right away they've got you put in debt, right? You got your $25,000, $30,000 student loan to take a course now that you may or may not want to do for the rest of your life over the next 6 or 7 years. And then you get out of school, now you're in debt, 25 grand, right? Then you go through the spiel of getting your own apartment, financing a car, and this is it, man. It's the roller coaster of friggin' this indoctrination into the system. Schooling was meant to create loyal, obedient workers in the workforce. There's a history on this schooling, man. You got to go back in time and educate yourself on how it all came about, really. And your parents didn't know any difference because they had the same thing taught to them, And now we're in an age right now where schooling system is going to collapse because what can a teacher actually teach you that you can't find on your freaking iPhone, right? These kids are growing up with iPhones in their faces at young ages, right? 2, 3 years old, whatever it is. And they're educating themselves and being programmed to what they want to learn, right? This is the thing, man. This is all a corrupt system. It's all designed a certain way to keep people under control, to not have you think for yourselves. Most of the millionaires that were created in this world never even graduated high school because they knew better. They had that whatever, that wit about them, that they could understand that if they thought for themselves, and uh, they could become entrepreneurs or whatever the case may be. Now, this is obviously a lot different now, this day and age, than it was, say 20 years ago, before all this technology came about and all these, YouTube and being able to make money online and a whole 9 yards, right? But the thing is, some people are just so proud that their kids got put through school and they graduated and indoctrinated into the system, right? Now they're a obedient part of life and loyal worker, and they can contribute to the whole of society and become something in this world, right? It's fucking, to me, I never saw it that way. I just never saw it that way. I always thought that I was being brainwashed with the wrong stuff, needless jargon that I really didn't need to know. I did not need to know about the Aztecs back in 1850 or whatever they were doing this and doing that. And I could care less, man. And most of the stuff that I was taught, I just had no interest in. So I chose not to friggin' participate, man. Well, raise your hand to go to the bathroom, raise your hand to get a drink, or and you sit in class and you're like you're being lectured by some teacher who thinks they know how things are supposed to be. And even then, it felt like a prison school, right? It just seemed like it was just too much of a control system, and that's what it is. It boils down to a control system that, up to this very day, still holds ground, because this society is a control system. Everything that's happening right now is a control system to control your every move, which is keeps getting worse with technology and cameras and digital fucking this and digital IDs and all this stuff. It's all about being controlled by a higher elite, by a higher fucking people who know how the game works, and people know how these people know that you can be programmed a certain way to be obedient and loyal and go into the workforce and don't question anything else in this world except for get up, go to work, come home, and do what like everybody else is doing. And you'll be indoctrinated into the system and you won't question anything. But in the back of your head, this fucking kind of sucks. There's got to be something more than this. I feel like a slave, right? Slave to the grind, 9 to 5. And this is what happens up until I'm 65. And then, what do you got left, right? If you accumulate a large amount of money and you're able to retire and have a cottage up north and whatever it is, how many years you got left? 10, 15? If you're in good health, that's it. That's all the time you get to enjoy it. It's designed that way, man. It's designed that way to keep people acting a certain way, like a bunch of sheep following the masses, doing what everybody else is fucking doing. And everybody is thinking everybody is trying to do better than the other person. My kid is, graduated with honors and he's going to be this and she's going to be that and blah, blah, blah. Right? It's like, I don't know, man. I just never saw it that way. And I broke free from the pack a long time ago. And I realized that there's something going on with this whole system. And I didn't want to be part of it. And, well, I guess it doesn't. 30 years later, I finally figure it all out. So anyways, with that being said, I'm 9 minutes in. So thanks for tuning in. Take it easy.